Chapter 1: The End of Everything. When the Galerians arrived in the Sol system, their victory was assured. They had no reason to think otherwise. After all, they were the dominant force in the galaxy, a species that had subjugated hundreds of star systems, assimilating or exterminating any civilization that dared to resist. Earth was just another target. Another primitive planet, a minor blip in the grand expanse of space, ripe for conquest. To the Galerians, humanity was nothing more than insects. Their advanced fleets, massive and bristling with weapons powerful enough to crack moons in half, were unmatched. Their technology was millennia ahead of anything Earth could offer. And as their massive armada slid into Earth's orbit, the message was clear: surrender, or be annihilated. But the humans didn't surrender. Chapter 2: Humanity's Last Hope. Earth's leaders gathered in a war room deep underground. The United Earth Defense Coalition, UEDC, the last remnant of human governance after decades of fragile peace between Earth's superpowers, had scrambled in the face of the Galerian threat. The Galerians had made their demands, and Earth's answer was already clear: they would fight. But to fight was suicide. General Marcus Kincaid, the head of UEDC's military forces, stood before a massive holographic display of the enemy fleet. It showed thousands of Galerian warships, each one a marvel of engineering beyond anything humanity had ever seen. Beside him, President Amelia Voros, looking grim and resolute, addressed the council. "They've given us 48 hours to surrender," she said, her voice low but determined. "We've seen what they've done to other worlds. If we surrender, we're dead. If we fight, we're probably dead." Murmurs of agreement echoed around the room. Humanity had no fleet to match the Galerians. Earth's defense systems, while formidable by their own standards, were laughable in comparison to the technology that hovered in the skies above. But Kincaid wasn't ready to accept defeat. "There's still one option," he said, eyes narrowing. "It's a long shot. And it's insane. But it's the only card we have left." The room went silent. All eyes turned to him. "We use it." President Voros froze, knowing exactly what Kincaid meant. The "it" he referred to was Project Exodus *, a classified weapon known only to the highest ranks of Earth's military. It wasn't a weapon in the conventional sense. It was something far more dangerous, and something they had hoped never to use. Dr. Lena Thomason, the lead scientist on Project Exodus, stepped forward. "The Galerians believe they've won because of their superior technology. They have ships that can wipe out entire cities in a single blast. But there's one thing they haven't accounted for. One thing we've kept hidden." Her gaze swept across the room. "They don't know about our dark matter weapon star. Project Exodus was Earth's greatest secret. Hidden away in the deep reaches of space, it was a colossal array designed to manipulate dark matter itself, the invisible, mysterious substance that made up 85% of the universe's mass. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a force that could bend the very laws of physics. There's a reason we never used it," Dr. Thomason continued. "It's unpredictable. Once unleashed, there's no controlling it. But it's our only chance." Kincaid nodded. "We fire it directly at their fleet. We tear a hole in spacetime itself if we have to. And we hope it's enough." There was no debate. There was no time for second-guessing. Humanity was out of options. Chapter 3: The Galerians' Confidence. Aboard the Galerian flagship, Commander Zaluth observed Earth through a massive viewport. He was unimpressed. The human planet was an insignificant blue dot, and their resistance would soon be extinguished. The humans had been given their ultimatum, and Zaluth fully expected them to grovel for mercy. To the Galerians, it was standard procedure. For millennia, they had crushed worlds without a second thought. Their armada had never been challenged, never been defeated. Even the most advanced species had bowed before their might. "Commander," a voice broke through his thoughts. It was one of his lieutenants. "The humans have not responded. Do you wish to initiate bombardment?" Zaluth's expression turned to mild annoyance. "Give them a few more hours. Let them sweat. Let them see the futility of resistance. Their spirit will break soon enough. But humanity's spirit wasn't about to break. Far from it. Chapter 4, The Weapon Unleashed. On a hidden moon base far from Earth, the Exodus team prepared for the unthinkable. General Kincaid and Dr. Thomason stood before the massive control panels of the dark matter array, watching as countdowns ticked toward zero. "This is it," Kincaid muttered. "Once we fire, there's no stopping it. The weapon will tear through everything in its path." Thomason's hands moved swiftly across the control board, activating the final sequence. "All systems are online. Powering up now." The array began to hum, the deep resonance vibrating through the moon itself. Giant conduits of energy sparked and crackled as the machine began manipulating dark matter, focusing its unimaginable power. The target, the heart of the Galerian fleet. The moment came. A burst of energy unlike anything in known physics exploded from the array, ripping through the fabric of space-time. A rift opened, a swirling vortex of dark matter so powerful that it bent reality itself. It shot toward the Galerian Armada at faster-than-light speeds, an invisible force that defied the natural laws of the universe. Chapter 5, The Fall of the Galerians. On board the Galerian flagship, Commander Zaloth felt it before he saw it. A strange distortion rippled through the ship's systems. The lights flickered, and the powerful energy shields that had never once failed began to fluctuate. "What's happening?" Zaloth demanded. But no one had an answer. The Galerians, with all their advanced technology, had never encountered anything like this. Their ships, designed to withstand the mightiest forces in the galaxy, were powerless against the chaotic effects of the dark matter weapon. Systems shorted out, engines failed, and entire vessels began to collapse in on themselves, crushed by the immense gravitational distortions. The vortex tore through the Galerian fleet like a knife through butter. One by one, their ships were ripped apart, either pulled into the rift or disintegrated as their structural integrity failed. The mighty Armada, the same force that had brought galaxies to their knees, was reduced to debris in a matter of minutes. On Earth, General Kincaid watched the devastation unfold on his screen. He felt a sense of awe at the sheer power they had unleashed, mixed with a deep, unsettling dread. The dark matter weapon was working, but the scale of the destruction was far greater than they had anticipated. Entire sections of space were warping, and the ripple effect was growing. "We need to shut it down," Kincaid shouted. But Thomason shook her head. "There's no way to stop it now. It's already out of control. The weapon had done its job. The Galerians were no more." But the dark matter rift continued to expand, its chaotic tendrils stretching further into space, threatening to engulf everything. Chapter 6, Humanity's Survival. It took days for the rift to stabilize. The dark matter vortex eventually subsided, leaving behind a warped sector of space littered with the remnants of the once mighty Galerian fleet. Humanity had won. Against impossible odds, they had turned the tide and destroyed their greatest enemy. But the victory came at a cost. The dark matter weapon, though dormant for now, had left scars across space itself. It was a reminder of the terrible power humanity now wielded, a power that could just as easily destroy them as it had saved them. As Earth's leaders gathered to celebrate their survival, General Kincaid stood apart from the crowd, gazing up at the stars. They had fought off extinction, but the future was uncertain. Other alien species would take notice. Others would come. But now, humanity had a reputation. They weren't just survivors anymore. They were the species that had unleashed the ultimate weapon, one capable of tearing apart the very fabric of reality. And the galaxy would never forget it.